stuff like that, do you have the same notion that the time has come that our constitution should be reviewed?
Yeah, if the Ghanaians will give me the mandate, one of my first things is to review that situation and to put that into referendum. What Ghanaians really want to do with this constitution, So that's a serious problem. The constitution is unfit for purpose. It was done for certain selfish reasons. I mean, you cannot say all of it was selfish, obviously. I mean, it has to pass, with some modicum of reasonable parts of it. But if you really read between the lines, you find it favors the certain elitists. It favors certain people who don't need favoring. Anything, if you run a real fair system, you should be, if you want to favor somebody, favor the disadvantaged, the poorer, the weaker. Not someone already who has power, who has access to everything, and you favor him more. The ex gratia, for example. And there's so many unfair things. We can spend a whole hour on that subject alone. So to me, the Constitution of 1992 is unfit for purpose, was selfishly motivated, and it needs to be reviewed or replaced. But it's up to the Ghanaians. It has to be put to them in a referendum. Do you want a new constitution that's fit for purpose, or do you want just to amend it? And the Ghanaians will have the say. And whatever they say, we will obey the majority.
For a party to win power in this country, you need all the three categories, like the middle, the lower class, middle age, and then upper class. Now the lower class comprises between the 18 years and above, who have just come into the youths as around people. Then the middle class are the people who own their businesses or taking the businesses after their fathers. And then the upper class are your age mates, those people who are old, who knows the history of this country.
Right.
So at least you should be able to get two, and that will come from the youth and then the middle class.
Right.
But currently, does CPP have that in mind? And you, as a presidential candidate, can you get that to get the youth to know what CPP is, to get the middle class and then push them ahead? Because the upper class will know, because they've read about Onsy Nkrumah, they've read about you.
They know enough.
They know enough. But the lower class and the middle class are where the masses of the votes are. But they are the people who don't know CPP well. What can you do special for them to vote for CPP?
Okay. If I have to meet every Ghanaian person and shake hands with them and take 5-10 minutes of my time to talk to them, I would do so. People need to understand that it's not about giving further, as I say, enhancement and embellishment and enrichment of certain class that is already favored in so many ways. But rather, the serving ruling class should be a class of servants. We got that wrong. Here, our people in the political arena, they seem to think they should lord it over the rest of Ghanaians. That's a wrong attitude. I think we should cultivate this selfless spirit of serving others. I believe if we can educate enough people that we want to do things differently from NDC and MPP, surely there will be enough majority for CPP. I cannot educate the country overnight. I cannot meet everybody overnight. But that would be my ambition, to meet as many Ghanaians, to explain to them, which will take me obviously all day if we start here. So, I mean, a lot of the historical facts were altered. A lot of realities were altered, I mean, a lot of people also embellished their views more than others, and they try to relegate certain things and elevate other things. I mean, human mind is so devious and is so creative and clever. So when you employ it in a devious way, you get all kinds of machinations. As we see, the strongest argument I would have probably, are you happy? Ask these young people like you're referring to, the youth or the middle class or even the upper class, except for the rich ones who are benefiting. They're obviously happy to keep things as they are. But that's why I said we must have a referendum. If that minority will tick, yes, keep constitution going, you expect that, because they're actually enjoying. But if we get a majority of Ghanaians who would say, no, we need a new constitution, then we must work on a new constitution. If they say we need to amend the faulty parts and keep the rest, then we'll do so. But as I said, if people, the system is faulty, so you keep repeating, as I say, the same mistakes. Well, let me remind some people, maybe not the youngest of our viewers, but when the Constitution 1992 first came, I think you are also old enough to probably remember, a lot of the MPP lawyers, and MPP have lots of clever lawyers, made a lot of noise, that because they can see it's exonerating the Rawlings group and his, cohorts and so forth. And they made some cogent arguments against it. But when they won power, they found, we can use this as well, So when the MPP politicians discovered they can equally utilize the same faulty system to their favor, they silenced their clever lawyers, and the lawyers kept quiet. But the lawyers know better. I mean, anybody that can read properly and can understand, reasonable comprehension of English language. I mean, you don't need to be a PhD literature English. If you are literate enough or educated enough, you realize there are certain things here that don't reconcile, they don't match. This is not fair. It's so blatant. But therefore, that's why I hold both parties equally guilty. I mean, okay, PNDC and NDC are the initial guilty culprits, but the MPP followed them to say, okay, well, we can work with this. And they managed just to play the seesaw game between this duopoly, okay, we enjoy it a little bit, then leave us to enjoy it a little bit, then comes back. I mean, so at the expense of who? At the expense of millions of suffering Ghanaians. So my best argument, ask any Ghanaian outside that little class that is making a lot of money by the unfortunate system, which is wrong. Anybody else outside that little clique of people will tell you, yes, I don't find Ghana fair. I don't find my standard of living acceptable. I don't enjoy life. I mean, I don't know how many thousands requests of help I receive on regular basis, and it tears me apart. I mean, I wish obviously I can send 2, 3, 4, 500 Ghana cedis thousands of times every year, but I cannot possibly do that. So, but the system needs to be fixed. We cannot just depend on charity. Oh, please can I have 500? Please can I have 1,000 for my medical, whatever. I mean, all this stuff is ongoing all the time, and it's not like one case. I mean, if I allow people, I'll probably get millions of requests for help. People who think I'm better off, so please can you help us? I would say, well, the only way to help ourselves is to fix the system. We cannot just add a few hundred Ghana cedi to everyone. But the trouble is, when come election time, a lot of people receive few cedi here and there, and they say, okay, well, at least I got, 200-300 Ghana to vote this way and that way. But then it will perpetuate the problem. It goes on and on and on. So basically, as I said, the best argument is, are you happy with the system? Most people say no. What can we do? We need real change. And that's why I said, for real change, you need to look at someone who's willing to change things fundamentally. Fundamentally. It doesn't have to be my ideology, no. It has to be a reasonable, and it is no dogma need to prevail. We need just to find what is the best, what is the fairest to improve the standard of living for all Ghanaians. I'm not, as I say, worried about the ones who have millions of pounds or dollars or cedis. They're already okay, But if we worry about the majority of Ghanaians, which at least 90%, then we're okay, And even those rich ones, if they have their money but with ill-gotten means or however, I don't know. But, I mean, obviously, if it is proven that they've stolen the money, obviously we will seek to return the money for for the public person.
In our previous elections and subsequent elections that we have done, CPP as a party and its presidential candidate cannot even be teared to the MPP and the NDC.
But why?
And lesser known political parties that were formed no less than 10 years ago
I know.
could be able
well,
to surpass CPP.
Thank you for.
I just don't understand why it should be so.
Why? Because I said earlier, because these two parties sponsor people inside the party to cripple the party. They make sure they don't give us our assets back, so we don't rebuild and regroup and reorganize. It's intentional. It's deliberate. I mean, I'm fighting this even to become the flag bearer in Nkrumah CPP. It's a fight. It's a fight between those people who are sponsored by these two parties and a genuine Nkrumahist like me. I'm a die-hard Nkrumahist. I will not go for any money for anything to sell the Nkrumah legacy. I want to remain faithful until I drop dead, whatever happens, And I believe I can respect myself, I can trust myself, I can talk to you as man to man, because I will never sell my conscience, I never sell my birthright, I never sell anything that is wrong. I will do whatever is the right because I fear God. I can work with other members of parliament who fear God, other politicians who fear God, because we'll have at least a basic understanding, a basic terms of reference, or a code of conduct that is ethical, that's moral, and that's acceptable to everybody, regardless of your religion, your ethnicity, whatever. And that is what I will appeal to.
Do you think this time around, the CPP party will give you the nod to become the presidential candidate for them in 2024?
We shall see. As I said, it's a fight between the different forces, between the Nkrumahist and the true loyal members and those who are sponsored. Those who are sponsored, their business is just to get some money, cars, motorbikes, few contracts, maybe the odd diplomatic passport or whatever, some appointments. These goodies, that is how they've been keeping CPP down. Whether they recruit people from CPP who have weakness for money or whatever, or the love of money, or whether they implant their own agents to come and apply and become so-called members of CPP, they have their people. So that is an interesting fight between who is faithful and who is sponsored. So we shall see.
Have you taken a nomination for so far?
I have, and I have filed.
You have filed? Submitted?
Yeah.
So you go for vetting?
Yeah, that is soon, probably next week.
Next week?
Hopefully within the next 2 weeks anyway.
Okay, and when will the elections be?
It's in July now. It was meant to be June, but it's been delayed for practical reasons, because we'll have our Congress in Tamale, so the logistics and so on. Yeah.
Do you have competitors so far?
Well, there were 3 to begin with. I understood who picked the forms, but I was told in the last 24 hours that 2 have dropped out. So, but I need to confirm that. But so at least there are 2, meaning me and a different person. Yeah, but we were 4 in total to begin with.
Okay.
But I think we're left with 2. Yeah.
And you are optimistic that you will be the leader?
That's the mission I'm on, whether confident or not. Fairly, I think, as I said, if we have majority of genuine members, I will be the flag bearer.
Genuine members?
Genuine members, not the sponsored ones. Well, I differentiated between the sponsored, meaning those who are willing to receive some money.
Okay, so this comes to the point of money being influenced during elections, party elections and stuff like that. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Is it ongoing in this country? What can we do to stop it?
Well, how can you educate people overnight? I mean, I keep talking about it all the time. But when someone is hungry and you offer him 200-300 Ghana cedi, you cannot also condemn him that he needed that. When people ask me, I'm hungry and somebody offers me 200 or 300, what do I do? I told them, I can fully sympathize. If I'm hungry, I probably find it difficult to say no. But if that affects you, whether you vote for me or not, I would not be able to ask you, don't receive money that you cannot afford to let go. But if you can receive the money and still vote correctly, do so. If you cannot, I'm not condemning you, but I just condemn the system. It is the viciousness of the system and the unfairness, and that is why we need real change to fundamentally change everything.
Have you toured the whole country?
I have, but not...
With all CPP members, CPP delegates who are supposed to vote for you?
No, I mean, we did that in 2020 when I stood for... Initially, I was going to stand for the chair, but unfortunately, I stepped down in favor of somebody else who didn't live up to expectation. Yeah, but that's when I went around the different regions. But I haven't been around this time yet, not yet. But I intend to go around
before the elections.
Before the election, by God's grace. Yeah. But this is internal, so I'll see our own delegates.
You see our own delegates. Currently, Ghana is facing a lot of challenges in terms of managing the economy, and we have gone way, way, way back. And for now, we are at IMF. Something that during the era of Nkrumah, we've gone to IMF several occasions, and we'll continue to be there. But during your father's era, in the Polo Square, he said the independence is meaningless until it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent. We can manage our own affairs.
Absolutely.
And since 1957 till date, we still go out to solicit for funds from the whites.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
What is the problem?
The problem is we are allowing those new colonials to continue to influence us, you know, directly and indirectly. They dictate terms to us. You see, when Osagyefo went to the IMF, it was 1958 to join. But his mission, his vision was not to join to be a net borrower, but to be an equity holder, a stakeholder, to influence how those institutions of the IMF and the World Bank should be run, because we'll have a vote, you know. But when I explained to different governments ever since, why did he pitch, why did he choose the level of equity and the level of participation at that level, nobody even paid attention. But in fact, if you have any economic savvy, you realize he was actually pitching our membership as lenders, not as borrowers. So even when subsequent governments were trying to borrow, have you noticed that Ghana can never borrow 10 billion or 20 billion?
No.
Okay. A lot of people...
The recent one is 3 billion?
Yeah, I mean, and that is on the high side. In the time of Mahama, when I was advising his government not to go, it was even under $1 billion. The last bailout was 914 or whatever million. And I was desperately trying to stop them from signing that loan. The loan itself, I mean, it sounds appealing that, oh, you're desperate, you're strapped for cash, you need money. So, you know, as I said, when you need, you do crazy stuff. But but this comes at a high cost, because they give you all kinds of unacceptable conditionalities, and if you don't sign up to all of these, they mess you up further. They blacklist you for this, they make your interest rate higher, they make things really difficult for the country. So many subsequent governments who are not aware of the history and why we went at that level and so on. I mean, obviously that needs a whole day if I'm to go into the explanation of it, but I'll spare you that as well. But I helped other governments, but they remain nameless because it's confidential relationship. But any African government that needed to be rid of IMF or want to break the chain with IMF or World Bank, they have my services free of charge. As a Pan-Africanist, I told every African administration, anybody wants to break free from IMF or World Bank, Onsy Nkrumah is available free of charge. And I will even pay my own ticket and pay my hotel. I mean, if they pay for my hotel and stuff like that, I will appreciate it.
And
but
with you, we will never join the IMF.
Never. I mean,
and no African country will
well,
join the IMF.
Okay, let me correct you. We are up to the hilt with the IMF. I will not join, but I will try to extricate, because I helped other governments in this continent of Africa to come out of the IMF. We need to break free. If we want to go forward, we need to break free. And this latest government, they told you, we'll never go to the, I mean, it's on record.
They said it's countless occasions, they're not going.
There's
a week before, or 2 weeks before going to the IMF, the finance minister had come to tell Ghanaians that we aren't going to the IMF. Only to realize that we're already there.
And the vice president and all of them, they said it. Repeated, even member of parliament. I mean, it becomes laughable now. Obviously, when they repeat it, you have to laugh. But basically, they were pointing at how wrong Mahama was on NDC to go there. But okay, you've even taken us deeper. Mahama last loan was under 1 billion. Now you're the latest 3 billion, and counting. So, because once
we're talking about the challenges that they face, no other government has faced that challenge before, because before they came to power, we were already in IMF with Mahama. They came, they extended it, they came out, but they are using the COVID, which is a global pandemic, and then Russia-Ukraine war, which is also a pandemic. Then using that one as a yardstick that have crippled the economy, that made them to go to the IMF. So without those two, they wouldn't have gone to the IMF, believing that well. Do you believe?
No, that's not true, because they didn't. 2020, and we could have actually said to the IMF, as a result of the election of December 2016, this government came into power. So they came into January 2017. So they had at least more than 2 years without all these excuses, I mean, the excuses help their case, or help to make some form of a case.
But they said between 2017 2018, prior to 2019, the economy was doing well.
Well, after doing so well, why do you need to go to the IMF?
Because of the COVID.
Well, it's not because of the COVID, trust me. Anyway, you can quote me here. If in 25 I am the president of this country, and if I don't make serious effort to repay and relinquish my ties, the ties that have been done by NDC and MPP, if I don't work to remove us from IMF, you should come after me and remind me and play this record and say, do you remember on such and such date in this studio you said you will break free from the IMF as soon as possible. Obviously, we are a responsible society, we're democratic, so we don't want to behave like a bunch of cowboys, obviously. We want to do it properly. So, but I stand by my word, and you can quote me, and Ghanaians will quote me, they will condemn me if I don't keep my word. There's a better way. I mean, I was involved in so many economic structuring of other countries. In fact, I'm one of the people who championed the cancellation of African debts. At the turn of century, as I said, I formed my Pan-African organization back in 1980. So I've been active with all kinds of Pan-African activities throughout the years. Not just in the continent, but in America, in the UK, and mainland Europe, and so forth. So I'm well known to a lot of African countries. In fact, so much so that I was offered a passport and an invitation to join government and to be a member of cabinets in different countries.
In different countries?
And I said, well, if I ought to serve in a political office, I ought first to offer my services to Ghana. And if they don't take me seriously, then
do you mind if I open the phone lines?
No, I don't mind.
A few people can call.
No, that's fine.
Okay, over to me after you see 0545402507 0501484671. A few minutes to go. 0501484671. Over to me after you see na ode o wasem edi atudwa So if we make sure you get me the clearer of the studio distance so that we can get it across very clearer here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to your presidential ambition then to become president of the Republic of Ghana. If you are elected as the president of the Republic of Ghana, 2017, is it
24.
20?
Sorry, 25.
That is 2027. By
25.
2025, yeah, you'll be in office in 2025. Okay,
Right.
so in 2025, what are some of the immediate changes that you do that will bring Ghana back to its recovery
Okay.
level?
The immediate things, as I said, we touched on one or two things, but we didn't
Excuse
touch
me, let me
on.
go to the phone line.
Sure, okay.
Hello, good morning. Okay, let's continue. Call come again.
Okay. I mean, you touched, by quizzing me about the Constitution and so on, you discovered that I have serious concern with the Constitution. Because the system is unfit for purpose, caused by unfit for purpose Constitution.
Let me pick this one. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, let's continue.
We'll continue. So, yeah, in the big.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Please, where are you calling from? Okay, let me hear you.
I would like to ask this Nkrumah, Onsy, is it proud to be a Ghanaian? Looking at the situation right now.
Am I supposed to be a Ghanaian?
And also,
What was the question? Are you saying
what is the Ghanaian dream?
are you saying is he a Ghanaian or what was the first question?
No, I mean the situation we are in right now. Is it proud to be a Ghanaian? The situation we are right now.
Okay, is he proud to be a Ghanaian now?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a Ghanaian, but I'm not proud at the moment. Under the two different parties, is not a proud side, but it's a responsibility rather, and that's why I'm putting myself forward to serve Ghanaians, to correct the situation, rather than to lecture people and give lots of advice. People always tell me, well, it's easy to advise when you're sitting on the fence. Fine, it's true. So let me come to the fire and see what I can do.
Okay.
And if we can change things for the millions of Ghanaians, then I'll be definitely more proud.
All right.
Yeah.
0501484671. You can call into the program and share your views and thoughts and ask questions. All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir, boss. Where are you calling from and your name? Okay.
My senior brother is saying that out. Do you necessarily have to do that government does some this development of the country?
Okay. Is this? Do you need to be in power as the president before you can contribute your quota? Because you did indicated that if anybody wants your idea of getting out of the IMF, any of the African countries, they should come and see you.
Yeah.
So why do you want to be president before you can give us that change that you want?
Oh,
the real change you are talking about.
Because
That's the question.
they wouldn't give me a key position to make such. The people in other countries who seek my assistance, they trust my judgment. They know I'm genuine. They know I'm not charging for my time. I'm not charging like the people of the time of NDC who negotiated for the 900 and some million. One of the reasons that they couldn't cancel because there were, I think, $15 million worth of professional fees. I don't charge any professional fees. I give my advice free of charge. It's just so wrong to put ourselves in a straitjacket and have conditionalities that will bring us down and down. They tell you, don't do the subsidy, cancel this, do that, whatever. And if you say, no, then okay, you're in trouble. They blacklist you, as I said, or they don't give you the money, and so on. So, you have to be empowered to change it, that's all. But I can give advice until kingdom comes.
Let me take my last caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, let's continue. Okay. So now, what do you have for Ghanaians? Okay. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Please.
But I'm the number because I have a lot in the voter. We can plant tomato and it not the base. We can plant. We have a lot of watermelon around the voter. There are a lot of vegetables. We have a claim of vegetables which can produce out things. And then company document. I can go on that guys. We have a lot of time. So how can I get him? That's my number. But how can I get number? So I can meet him. I have a lot.
No problem. We ask him to leave his number.
That's answer the money that we can do a lot of charity.
All right. So you leave your number to the producer, then he will contact you after the show.
No problem. Yeah, we'll do so.
All right. So you do so.
No problem. That's
okay. No, talk to the producer off air right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So that you can contact him.
Sure, no problem.
You don't mind?
No, I don't mind. That's okay.
What should Ghanaians expect from Onsy Nkrumah?
A God-fearing man who is not driven by ideology alone or by theology alone. Although I fear God, although I love my fellow human beings, I love Ghanaians, I love Africans, but I want Africa and Ghana to be as strong as possible and as free as possible and as proud as possible, and I want the standard of living to be acceptable so people don't have to go and beg. Please, I don't have 100, I don't have 50, I need my transport. And it pains me, and I hear it thousands of times, countless times. So I would like to leave Ghana a much better place. That's all. I don't want anything. I don't want to gain anything. I want to work with people that will change the future. I would also like to cancel the mortgaging of children and grandchildren. The future of our kids has been mortgaged to all kinds of lenders, not just the IMF. We have all kinds of bonds and euro bonds and all kinds of clever ideas how to raise funds. Well, who's going to pay that? Not this government or the next one, but kids who are kids today or who are yet unborn. So I would like to remove all these shackles as soon as possible, and within the time I'm given to live and time I'm given in office. And I do not mind working with every tribe, every ethnic background, any party. So when people say, what if CPP doesn't have majority of party? Doesn't matter. I will go to parliament, I will explain to my fellow Ghanaians, look, forget your MPP MP, forget your NDC, let's think as a Ghanaian. And I will convince them what is best, and then whatever overseas majority will work with that. So I believe I don't have issues, because, as I say, CPP, Nkrumah CPP, was the mother party for the independence, and I believe we Osajofa showed love for everybody. I have a big heart for everybody. Even my opponents, they know that. I mean, I can attack them on policy, whatever, but then we can smile, then we can have a meal, we can have a drink and whatever. So we want to do whatever is best for our people. So help me God.
Amen. Thank you very much, Onsy Nkrumah.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
It's been a wonderful talking to you.
Thank you,
Thanks for coming.
Thank
you. I hope right after, when you are elected to be the flag bearer, I hope to speak to you again.
With pleasure, yeah. I will, you can hold me to it.
All right.
I will come back.
All the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Onsy Nkrumah and Nkosuo flag bearer hopeful for the CPP come 2024 general elections. So I'm picking the forms. So I submitted the vetting. After that, now you have see be in some the bear fanka 24 the CPP. You are now feed I then yes any nedim komobium. Happy birthday to Akofa, a member of Home Based Television. Wada unu abusu ni nyina se omoma happy birthday Presla Nanaya Opoku Dennis Mbezi Accra Nanaya Opoku UK omu nyina se omo we so happy 29th happy birthday, yes, happy birthday. Nti na mi show ni wenim kan show so mbon ho ban ye be say dia share biom na wo che sende bye bye.